What's good, guys? It's the one and only King Cal 516 live in the mix, and this is the Swiss Flame Podcast. So I just wanted to give you guys a little insight of what's going on out there. Some of you might have seen it, but yesterday, Rajon Rondo had a press conference with the Lakers, his introductory press conference. You know, Rondo recently re-signed back with the Lakers, and he did a conference where he kind of threw a jab at the Clippers, and we want to go into that and break that down a little bit. So there was a line that Rondo had. Basically, he was saying, "You're only as good as the coach believes in you." And most people were saying that, you know, I've heard out there that, oh, Rajon Rondo going back to Lakers, he's washed up. He doesn't have much left in the tank. I'm really not one to think that. I think that Rondo offers a lot. And I think he's going to bring a lot of great things to the Lakers this season. And I don't think he's washed up. And I think him saying that was just his way of giving a confirmation that, hey, I still got some left in the tank. It's just because of the situation that I was in recently, it just wasn't my favorite because the coach didn't believe in me. And then Rondo goes on to talk about how Frank Vogel was one of the key voices in trying to recruit him back. Frank Vogel basically told him that he missed his voice in the locker room. So let me just break down why I feel like Rajon Rondo is going to be a plus for the Lakers. First of all, Rajon Rondo is a leader. He keeps guys accountable on the court. He's a savant when it comes to the game of basketball. So his IQ and the way he thinks is very important. So behind the scenes, especially when it comes to playoff time, he's going to be one of those voices with LeBron, with the coaching staff that are going to really dissect the film to pick apart these teams and orchestrating a game plan. Back 2 years ago, when the Lakers were in a bubble and they won a championship against Miami, Rondo, for that game 6, was one of the bigger voices on for the Lakers on how they should attack. Because up until that point, they were kind of letting Jimmy Butler do his thing. And Rondo basically said, we got to change that. We got to really put a lot more pressure on Jimmy Butler and get the ball out of his hands, let the other guys beat them. And they really implemented that in game 6, along with putting Alex Caruso on the starting lineup. And that changed that series, and that helped the Lakers close the heat out. So with that said, Rondo's going to play an important part of the Lakers. I do not think he's going to play a lot of minutes during the regular season. You know, he'll get some minutes, but I think they're going to preserve him and not try to overuse him because they really want him in the playoffs. The second thing why I believe Rondo is going to be a great fit for the Lakers is Anthony Davis. Rondo and Anthony Davis have great chemistry, and Anthony Davis plays very well with Rajon Rondo. As good as Anthony Davis is, he needs a guy who runs the point, or whoever's the dominant ball handler on the team that Anthony Davis is on. He needs a guy that knows how to feed him the ball correctly in the right spots to maximize his ability. And that helps AD not have to work as hard. There was a lot of times last season, AD was left to kind of ISO to score, right? Rajon Rondo is going to cut that down a little bit, right? He's going to get AD in the right spots. He's going to get AD moving. And I guarantee you, I already thought just adding Westbrook was going to add more lobs, but I guarantee you with Westbrook, LeBron, and Rondo, AD is going to get a monster amount of lobs this year. And that was the issue, because that's one of your strengths. You should be using AD in that pick and roll where he's cutting rim. He should get more lobs. He didn't get a lot last year like he did the year before with LeBron running the point full time and with Rondo backing up LeBron. So AD is going to be a guy that definitely benefits at a high level based upon this. And so those two things in particular. And then also Rondo's going to kind of, even though he's more like in your face, Rondo's going to address a lot of locker room issues that might come up too. So he's kind of going to fill that Jared Dudley role. He's not the guy that's probably going to take everybody out to eat to get to know them better. Not that from that standpoint, but just making sure everybody's on the same page. Just making sure everybody's being used and maximizing, making sure everybody's in line with the coaching staff. Rondo's going to help a lot with that as well. So he's going to be a crucial part to the Lakers, even though he's probably not going to play a high level of minutes during the regular season. But I can see in the postseason where his minutes will rev up because, let's be honest, the coaching staff is going to start trusting people who've been there, done that before in these big spots. And so with him saying this little thing, I think that was well calculated because I know Rondo's hearing that a lot of people think he's washed up. And I think this is a good situation to kind of learn from because there's a lot of NBA players. They may go into a situation and that situation is not the best for them because the fact that the coaches that they're under maybe don't really trust those guys. And I'll give you another guy that went through this. And this is why, and I've said this before in another video, why I believe this year this player is going to have a good season. Lonzo Ball, he's a great example because when he was with the Lakers, it never seemed like Luke Walton really trusted him or gave him the opportunities needed. Granted, there was some stuff Lonzo had to improve on. I went over that with the shot and stuff, but he's improved that now. But in general, with a young star that you drafted number 2, you would think they would have gave him more opportunities. And, you know, I remember LeVar Ball kind of mentioned, oh, the coach doesn't believe in him, you know, and he was talking about Luke Walton at the time, and you can kind of see that. And then now Fast forward this past season, we saw with the New Orleans Pelicans where they pretty much regulated Lonzo to more of a 3-and-D guy, more of a spot shooting guy instead of the guy facilitating and generating offense. They ran it through Zion. Now he's with the Bulls. I believe the Bulls do believe in him, and Lonzo even mentioned it that he just feels like he's with a team that, believes in what he can do and is going to allow him to be him. And I think you're going to see Lonzo shine this year because he's in a situation that's well suited for him. And with Rondo, he's well more seasoned. He's been in the league a lot longer. I believe he just went through a situation like that when he went to the Clippers and how the media was hyping out that this was going to get the Clippers over the top. He kind of never fully got himself situated the way that, we expect Rondo. And chances are it's just because the Clippers, what they wanted for him was a little bit different than what Rondo is best known for. You know what I'm saying? Rondo's the kind of guy that's best known for his mind. And so you allow him to go in there, pick apart the defense, and put people in the spots, and let him be a true floor general. Let's be honest. The NBA, from the true elite floor generals out there, that number is decreasing. You know what I'm saying? What's happening is that most teams are now getting these combo guards who are really more shooting guards, but who can handle the ball and who can shoot the ball at a high clip. That's your point guard. They're running away from the true traditional point guards like Chris Paul's of the world, or Rajon Rondo's of the world. That's why you see somebody come in like LaMelo Ball. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a little bit refreshing. Why? Because LaMelo Ball can facilitate. He can control the tempo of the game. He understands that even at his young age. But most point guards coming in, they're more of a aggressive shooter who can handle the ball. Not a guy that's like James Harden, who's like getting you in a position to win. Why did the Nets last season, even though the limited time that those three stars played together, when you saw that Kyrie saw James Harden come in and Kyrie submitted to James Harden, say, hey, you be the point guard. Kyrie knows Kyrie has the best hand in the league. Why would Kyrie want to do that? Because Kyrie understood from an IQ standpoint that James Harden sees the floor better. He can facilitate better than him, even though Kyrie has the better handle. Kyrie might be shorter, but at the end of the day, Kyrie's better suited for that team to be the shooting guard. And so Kyrie, understanding what was best for the team, made sure that James Harden knew, hey, you're going to be the point guard. You know what I'm saying? Because Kyrie already knew the skill set James Harden had, and that would be better for the team. And that's correct. And so in this situation with Rondo, he doesn't have a lot of pressure going on Lakers. He kind of knows the situation. He has great chemistry with AD. He has great chemistry with LeBron. That whole thing with him and Westbrook having a little tension in the past, that's not really a big deal because most of the time you're a competitor. You're going to compete at the highest level. There's going to be trash talking. You're going to bump heads just a little bit. But guess what? As soon as you on the same team, it is what it is. Now you guys are fighting for the same purpose. So now you guys are in line. So I don't think there's no really beef with Lonzo and Westbrook at all. They're going to be fine as well. And I think Lakers are going to be dangerous this year. But with that said, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think about this little jab that Rajon Rondo put out there. Remember, he's basically stated that you're only as good as the coach believes in you. Frank Vogel reached out hard for Rondo. Really missed his voice. And the Lakers know how to use Rondo. And I think that we're going to see playoff Rondo return this season. And that's going to be very exciting. But it is what it is. He didn't really play good with the Clippers. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. It's just a different system. The way they wanted to use him just wasn't fitting for him. So it's all good either way. But with that said, like I said, let me know what you guys feel like in comments. It's your boy King Kyle 516. Make sure you check out the website, www.swissflames.com. Hit us up on Twitter @SwissFlames. So definitely check out the Facebook page at Swiss Flames Podcast. Also, if you go to the website, there's a bunch of icons there at the top of different places you can go listen to the podcast and add it. All right. With that said, peace.